Good morning, beautiful. It is so nice to be out here. Look, you can see the sky is blue with clouds in it, admittedly. It's so nice to be in the back garden again. And just strolling around. I'm a little bit late because I've just been co-creating with some fabulous people. Once a month we get together, and we ran a bit late because we had fun with Zoom and it was nobody's fault. But here I am anyway. It's so nice to be out here. Let me show you the world. There is the day. It's pretty gorgeous, really. And the wind has changed. It was cold overnight, but now the wind is coming from the northwest and it's no longer cold. Good morning, Andrew. Good morning, Jan. Lovely to see you. Let's go down to what I call the wild garden. It's got the circle garden in it. There's a few things going on here, actually. We have a slightly scrawny looking foxglove. Let me get out of the sun. There you go. There's always one in the garden. I'm just having problems with shade. Hang on. That's better. Now you can see it better. There's the foxglove. So it's something that's happening. Here are the loganberries, which I moved. They were up with the iris before, but they didn't do well, so we try them here. I think they're going to thrive, and they've got a fence to lean on, which is always good. Here we have the red currants, which are presently green. See, they're growing. You can see they're a relative of the grape, right? The grape-shaped leaves and the little clusters of berries that they're starting to turn red. See, there's the first one going red. So what else have we got? We've got lemons coming along. The bush is always rather scruffy, but it's productive and it's healthy. It's doing really well, actually. Oh, look, there's a poster shot view across the lawn. And we have this. This is the gooseberry with its wicked thorns. Can you see there are thorns there? Really sharp, really long, but it makes gooseberries. And of course the beautiful campanula that's growing there. And look, this one that's a bit late is coming, but no flowers there yet. And we've got to enjoy the cassia. There were 3 flowers yesterday, now there's more, and the bush is lighting up, and well, you have to savour these things. Let's get up close so you can see the detail. It's just the most fabulous thing. And this was a seed that was gifted to the garden, fell out of some birdie's bottom, and became this, and I recognised it. There's a cassia not far from here, and obviously it made viable seeds and they grew. And here's Campanula Elizabeth, which is just beautiful to look inside. And not much missing, really. The last of the granny's bonnet. I'm going to have to cut it down soon. And I've even got some shallots growing here. I don't grow many vegetables. It's not really a very good place to grow vegetables, believe it or not, because it's so windy. But it is nice from time to time to have some onions, and they're tough. So, there's the garden. Oh, there's something else I wanted to show you before I turn the camera around. And it's this. We have geraniums. And yes, things that need doing. This is called Johnson's Blue for obvious reasons. That's what it is. It's a blue flowered geranium. And the foliage is just about as beautiful as the flowers. Look at that. It's deeply lobed. And, the flowers are a bonus. So it comes up and goes down every year faithfully. And there's another geranium here. It's a bit smaller. I don't know what it's called, but it is bright pink. And you can see the deeply lobed foliage there. It's just beautiful. So it comes up every year. And of course, here's the big rose that's beginning to explode into blossom. So we'll look forward to that. Okay, turn the camera around. Good morning, everybody. Hello, Mike. It's great to see you jumping on. Okay, I haven't spent too long gardening, and there's so much to see. We are no longer between acts in the garden. It's official summer is starting now, even though it's not officially summer. So today I want to talk about feeling trapped. Really, this is the feeling I want to address. When you feel like you are stuck, when you feel like your circumstances won't move. Hi, Julian! When, and there's lots of stuff around you that you can look at and think, oh God, I hate this. Eve, that's great to see you. It's been yonks. G'day, g'day. you want them to be, and for the foreseeable future, you can't see how they're going to change. That situation where it's just like, oh, feck, I am stuck here, right? And you feel powerless and you feel trapped and you're in this situation and looking at it with what you know, based upon your experience, based upon who you are and what you have available to you now, you can't see how it's going to change. And the normal and natural and very sensible response to that is to feel stuck, trapped, frustrated, you know. And then every time, like, you know, I mean, the classic situation is having a job that you don't like. But it could be a relationship, it could be a health condition, it could be your financial situation, anywhere that you feel stuck, right? So we all relate to this one way or another. There is some place, because this is just being human, for most of us, there is some place in our lives that we would like to be someplace different and we can't see a way to change it. It's like, oh, I don't know how the hell to do this. So what do? What's the story there? The first thing is actually to stop hating it. And it's like, it's very natural, if this is the first time you've heard anybody say that, to say, what are you talking about? It's horrible. I've got every good reason to hate it. It's crap, you know, and this person and that situation and that thing, and it's been going on forever and I hate it and I'm upset and, you know, blah, 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 right? Totally, sure. But let me ask you, does that help? Really? Is it going to change anything if you carry on doing that? Actually, what's going to happen is that you will further entrench yourself in the situation that you hate. Yeah, really? Why is that? Well, because what you think creates an electrical frequency in your brain which gets translated into chemistry in your body, and that electrical frequency also broadcasts as a signal to the universe. And if you are congruent in your hatred and frustration of your circumstances, you better believe the whole universe knows about it. You are quantumly entangled with the whole universe. Did you think you were sitting there in a bucket and the rest of the universe doesn't know what you're thinking and feeling? Everybody knows. Everyone's connected. And that doesn't mean the universe is looking at you and saying, oh, well, you're just a piece of crap. No. But the universe is aware. There's no judgment from the universe. The universe isn't saying whether your thoughts and your feelings and your behaviours are good, bad or otherwise. It just notices. It just observes. So if you are having that feeling, having that thought, that's the signal we're sending out to the universe. And when you are having the feeling consistently of frustration, of sadness, of lack, of anger, of resentment, whatever it is, that too sends a signal. But instead of sending a signal out, it's actually like, you know what happens when there's a tub full of bath or a bath full of water or a sink, you know, a hand sink, and you fill it up and you pull the plug and it goes down and makes a vortex, makes a funnel, it goes down the thing. Your emotion is like that funnel. It literally draws stuff to you. Guess what sort of stuff it draws to you? The same as what you're feeling. Oh my God. This is why no person, no situation, no anything is worth feeling that crappy about for that long. Because you just keep it there. And remember, those negative thoughts and negative feelings mean negative chemistry, stress hormones, which are addictive. And you can be addicted to thinking and feeling the way that creates the life that you actually hate. You can be addicted to thinking and feeling what creates your hateful life. You can be addicted to your hateful life. You can be addicted to your thoughts. You can be addicted to your feelings. And they don't even serve you. Oh my God, really? You know, if we say, oh, really? Yes, really. This is a fact. It's how it works. So, nothing, nobody, no trauma, no justifiable thing why you should feel angry about it for the rest of your life because it was a horrible thing that somebody did to you. No disaster, no nothing is worth continuing to think and feel that way. I mean, if you want to, go ahead, but understand you are going to keep creating more of the same shit in your life because you are still thinking the same thought and feeling the same feeling. And of course, you're going to behave like you think and feel. I mean, really, have you ever seen anybody who's thinking a crappy thought and feeling bad, acting happy in any way that's convincing? Not really, no. I mean, a trained actor, maybe. They can do it. But most of us, how we behave is a reflection of how we're thinking and feeling. So, it's a circuit. And if you just keep going around that circuit, you're going to keep creating, literally, more and more of the same stuff. So there's nothing, doesn't matter what it is or how justified you are to feel that way, there is nothing that's worth continuing to feel that way for an ever and ever and ever. Unless you want to keep having your life continue to be the way it is forever and ever and ever. If you want it to be different, you're going to have to change something. And you're going to have to change something without insisting that anything outside of you changes. That's just what the truth is. And that's pretty rugged when you think, but hang on, I've got all these good reasons to feel the way I do. Well, yeah. But, repeat what I just said. So, if you're stuck in the crappy job and you've got all these reasons why you hate it, and they're all good reasons, and I'm not denying that for a minute, what can you find, and we talked about this a few days ago, what can you find to be grateful for? Maybe nothing to do with your job, but can you put yourself in an attitude of gratitude? Sorry about the rhyme, but it does work like that. Can you put yourself in an attitude of being grateful that you have a job, because so many people do not? Bloody hell, I had to do that. Can you be grateful that it allows you to eat? It gives you a pattern in your life. It gives you contrast between things that you like and things that you don't like. It gives you a way to generate income and survive that you actually know how to do, that you don't have to stand on your head to do, because it's known to you, right? I mean, you can find something to be grateful for in a job that you really despise. You just have to stop looking at all the things about the job that you really despise. And they may be in your face, but trust me, there's good things that are in your face too. You're just not seeing them because of what you're choosing to focus on. Now, the funny thing about somebody who's in a shitty job, who consciously chooses to change their attitude and manages to make that a habit and maintain it more often than not, and this is going to take some practice. Same with a crappy relationship, same with a difficult physical condition, same with a financial situation. It doesn't matter, I'm just using the job as an example. The thing about a person who consciously makes a choice to change their attitude to their current situation is that somehow, at some stage, either people who were being difficult start changing their behaviour because that person's changed their behaviour. It's like they're no longer playing the same game of tennis. They've stopped being that resentful, horrible, nasty person who was, even if they weren't being horrible and nasty, inside they were horrible and nasty, and they were hating just in themselves that they were even there. You think that doesn't communicate itself to everybody else? When you get out of that space and you start saying, well, I'm grateful that I'm alive and I have a job and I can feed myself and I have this routine and I get to go away and forget about it for a little while if I choose to and do some other things, and I come back and there's lots of people who don't have what, you start to think and feel differently, and what do you know? The people that you were fighting with somehow just become a little bit less difficult, and you're doing your work more easily. You're more productive somehow because you're not quite so resentful. And you start to find little things in your work that actually, even if it's not your mission in life, you think, oh, I could do that well, and that helps that person. And I like seeing that customer got a better deal than they might have before. You start finding satisfaction in small things, and then out of the blue, you have an opportunity to get maybe move sideways in the company or move up in the company or get a different job. And even though it's supposed to be impossible for that to happen, somehow there's a door that opens, and it's a bit unusual. But because you're not locked in the you actually see the opportunity. You think, oh, I wonder if I could do that. I wonder if that's a possibility for me. I know there's all these reasons that are supposed to stop me, but I wonder if that could actually work. And because you're not in that locked down, thing that's going on inside you, you're open to opportunities and you manifest a new job, even in a situation where you're completely not supposed to be able to do it. This is how it works. It begins with you changing your thoughts and your feelings. It begins with you changing your attitude. And I use that word with some care because, you sort of think, change your attitude. What does that mean? It really does mean, again, I say this a lot, starting to pay attention to who you're being about the fact that you have this chronic condition, health condition that that you just can't fix, that you just can't get over, that it's been that way forever and it's getting worse, and the doctors tell you what to expect and you're worried because, it's like, how long is it going to take to arrive? And do you realise that by having those thoughts about, how long have I got before this stage of my disease comes to me, that you are programming your body to do it? It's like, feck. And of course, doctors don't understand this. They tell you what to expect, which is actually also important. I mean, it's important to know what to expect if you're going to follow the normal path of a physical disease, right? It's important to know what to expect. It's important to know what to do to manage it, all of that stuff. I'm not denying it because I have to do some of that myself. Nothing dramatic, but I have to manage this body. But a lot of medicine is actually kind of like they just say, well, we expect you to be like this. This is how it's going to be. And they program you into the future of the diet that comes with the diagnosis. But it doesn't have to. And I'm saying that from my own experience, actually. Although I have a wonderful doctor that doesn't do that. Most doctors do. They say, well, you've got this, so this is how it's going to go, more or less. But I know there are many people now who've changed their genetic future because they accepted the fact that they had a diagnosis, but they didn't accept the prognosis. And they didn't then let that diagnosis say, well, now I'm going to feel sad and angry and miserable and whatever. I mean, they had the reaction, right? They had the, oh my God, I've got cancer. And they might have had that for 3 days, 2 weeks, however long it was, until they decided to turn themselves around and change their attitude to it. And then they started doing the work to become the person who's actually sending different instructions to their cells about what's going to happen in this body. That's a whole nother discussion. But there are people who've really turned very serious conditions around. Things that Western medicine has nothing that it can do, and they've done it. So I know it's possible. I'm not saying it's easy, but I know it's possible, and it's happened more than a few times. So it really is that profound. That in the situation that you're struggling with, the difficult relationship with a family member or a spouse, to just think, hold on a minute, what if I am somehow creating this? Really? What if I, take the Google red sticky pin that you put on the map, stick it in the centre of the picture of me and say, this is it. I'm it. How am I continuing to reinforce this? And sometimes it's really obvious and sometimes it's not obvious at all. And it's not a case of beating yourself up and saying, oh, well, I must be doing something wrong. I'm creating this crap. We always are at some level. But I'm not saying that we willfully are trying to hurt ourselves. Sometimes the way that we're creating things is so profoundly unconscious in us that the only way we get to see it is because the difficulty's there. And we work on ourselves and we think, oh yeah, I figured that out. And it's still there. And you work on yourself some more and you think, oh, I figured that out. I shifted the energy. I let go of some more crap about who I've been. And it's still there. And you go through layers of the stuff of who you are and how you are creating things. And sometimes it's very profound and deep and almost entirely unconnected to the person or the situation that appears to be the real problem. And again, there's no judgment. It's not about, oh, well, you're an awful person. You have to suffer because of something you did in a past life. No. It's just somehow we are manifesting everything. But it's not always obvious how. And the process of realizing, well, I must be doing this somehow. I don't know how. It doesn't mean I'm bad. I'm not being punished. I just don't know how it is I'm doing it. But let me adopt a better attitude, a better thought, and practice a better feeling. And we talked about that yesterday. to become more of the person that I know I'm gonna be when my life is different. And the thing is, when you do that, then your life changes. If you wait for your life to change to do that, well, you might never do it. You might still be a resentful, angry, sad, disempowered, whatever it is person when you got the new job. And before you know it, in 3 or 6 months, you hate that as much as you hated the last one. You got to change. And then when your circumstances change, you become the person that is actually ready to really relish in your new circumstances. Instead of waiting for what's outside of you to change so that something inside of you will change, which frequently doesn't work anyway. You know, the person who wins the lottery and then 6 months later they're poor again. They don't know how to be a multimillionaire. So you need to learn, decide, teach, train yourself to be the person who is who you want to be. And when you are that person, I know it, it's a law, your circumstances will change to match. That's how it works. And it's Friday again. What an amazing week. One way and another. Thank you so much for sharing this week with me. Very much love to you. Look out for resonant replays in the weekend, and I will see you Sunday, Monday. Big love. Bye-bye.